under 48 hours away until Eagles and Cowboys. And I got a special treat for you guys. Cowboys Legends 27. He has come on. We are behind enemy lines, a.k.a. Mr. LL. And that's exactly what the Eagles are going to do to the Cowboys this Sunday. Handing them a big L. What's going on, man?
Bam. What up, YouTube? LL coming at you. In this one, I'm over here with the homie right now. Behind enemy lines. And we got a big one, you guys. We have a big one tomorrow night. My hands are sweating right now, and I'm motherfucking ready for it, so let's get going. Hey, my bad for cussing on your stream, man.
Oh, dude, all good. You got a fuck Eagles shirt on, so we're all good. No, I curse all the time. I brought EDP on. EDP is on the show. He is completely, he's a lot worse than you in terms of the cursing. So, and I can get pretty bad, too. I got a foul mouth.
Fuck EDP, too. How about that? It's like I'm just
Yeah, EDP's my boy. So let's get right into the game. So the big matchup here is you're going to have Byron Bell starting at left tackle. No Tyron Smith again. At least that's what it's looking like. I mean, you had the report on Thursday that he wasn't going to play, and then Friday you kind of heard murmurs that now he's questionable. He might play, but I think he's going to be out. So you got Byron Bell in there. So I ask you, how the hell are you guys going to combat the Eagles D-line?
You know, it's going to be really huge for us. I think a couple tight ends, and right now it's not confirmed. I think he's going to be a game-time decision, but inside sources are saying he's not going to play. Jerry Jones will not confirm it just because obviously game planning situations and things of that nature, but he's not going to be in there. Byron Bell is obviously a liability. He gave up the sack on the first play of the game when he came into the game against a tired Adrian Claiborne, who had already gotten 6 sacks. So it's unfortunate, you know what I mean? And hopefully we're going to game plan exceptionally well and be able to give some help over there on the left side so Dak is able to get the ball out, because if he's not, we're going to be without Dak Prescott for the rest of the year. Yeah,
I was very, very surprised last week in the game plan. Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan. I mean, after the second sack, you should have been making a change in terms of chipping, in terms of putting a tight end on that side, maybe some max protect, something like that. Roll the pocket to the roll the pocket, move the pocket, roll Dak to the right. But none of that was done. I would think this week they'll make a change and game plan against this. We'll see. But even max protect, because you got Dez, you got Cole Beasley. As good as the Eagles cornerbacks have played this year, they've overseeded expectations. I still think that Dez and Cole Beasley present matchup problems. So get the ball out quick 3-step drops, get Dez on the quick slant, Cole Beasley in the option routes. That's how you're going to have to beat the Eagles defense, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking exactly is we're going to have to buy some time somehow, some way, and get down the field early and often. Obviously, your run defense is really, really good. You have Chris Long back there creating a lot of havoc. You have your D-line is just exceptionally well.
Oh, it's sexy.
Arguably the best. And obviously, one of the best front sevens in the NFL. So we have a lot of problems, and it's not just the left tackle position. Obviously, Malik Collins has been battling a ankle injury and a foot injury for the past weeks.
He was very good his rookie season. Really good player, I think.
Yeah. So we have our work cut out for us when it comes to the offensive line. But I think establishing some kind of a run, which is going to be its own challenge, because you guys rank in the top 5 against the run consistently. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to establish some kind of run with Alfred Morris. I believe Darren McFadden is the rotational back, that he should be back there. I'm not sure if they're going to be riding with him or Rod Smith. I guess we'll see during the game who suits up. Right now they've been riding with Rod Smith, but I'd like to see McFadden back there.
Yeah. And I recommended this to you before the show. Now I'll get you to talk about this, but I think the way that they should run the ball too is have Dak take some design runs. It doesn't have to be a lot, but enough to keep the Eagles defense guessing. Right? You gotta mix a lot of different things, I think, against that front seven. because if you want to protect him, you also running the football also helps in protection. And it's going to be difficult against the Eagles' defensive line. Obviously, they rank number 1 in the NFL in terms of yards per game allowed. They're also in the top 5 in yards per carry allowed. I believe it's like 3.5, something like that. And so I think getting Dak involved, I think that'll help things out, actually. But what do you think? I think you might be a little worried that he might get hurt.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about a little bit. That I'd like to see that a little bit. Obviously, this last game he ran, I believe, for over 40 yards, being the second rusher on our team to have a big game. Alfred Morris obviously had more touches, but Dak Prescott averaged more yards. So, yeah, it would be huge to have him and add him to the running game. But you guys have such an aggressive D-line, such an aggressive defense that it's not going to be a good idea to have Dak out there in open space, with heavy hitters like Chris Long running around and him obviously potentially getting hurt and knocked out for a season. We just cannot risk that because this game is a crucial game, but I believe we could still achieve the playoffs if we lose this game. So, I'm not panic mode yet.
Yeah. Yeah, the reason why I kind of like this isn't your normal game. This is a huge game for the Cowboys. Now, I'm with you. I don't think they would necessarily be done if they lose because I still think there's talent on Dallas' side of the ball. But, yeah, so I think because of the circumstances, I would run him a little bit. And I'm not talking about, like, running and taking shots in the open field. I'm talking, like, do your zone read, take your 6 yards, and slide. And that's it. That's kind of the way I'm looking at that.
Yeah, and just anytime you have a quarterback running an open space, even with the design run and your design reads, you take the risk of getting your quarterback hurt. And I understand what you're saying. We do need to do it. Obviously, we need to stay on pace with the run. You're dealing with a team that is really good with the run and then gets away from it at the most crucial times. And that was just another fact of last week against the Falcons of us getting away from the run when we simply did not need to yet. But I think that's what we're going to end up doing. But your secondary can be exposed. And with Darby coming back off of the injury, hopefully Dak Prescott can buy some time and expose that. I'm not sure how much time he's going to be playing, like you said, but ranked right now, you guys ain't doing too well. So hopefully Dak Prescott can find some holes in there and keep this thing competitive. I do think it's going to be a high-scoring game. 27-25 Dallas Cowboys.
We'll get into predictions at the end. Obviously, a little biased to that prediction, but I'm going to be biased as well in mine. So we'll get into that at the end of the show. But yeah, like speaking of the running game, because you got the people out there that think that it's not. I don't want to say that it's not a big deal that Zeke is out. Maybe they think that because the offensive line is so great that Alfred Morris should still be able to run the football. But the way I see it is this: Zeke can take on such a workload and wear down the defense. And if you look at even the numbers last year, they were nearly a yard per carry better when Zeke was running the football in terms of as opposed to the other guys. So I think it's a bigger loss than people think. I do think Tyron Smith is the bigger loss, but losing Zeke hurts too, man, because when you're pulling your offensive linemen and getting them on the second level, if they're missing their targets, Zeke can make people miss. He can barrel through people. I'm not so sure that Alfred Morris has that same type of elusiveness. And even in pass protection, Zeke is a great pass protector. So, I'll ask you that. Like, how much of a difference does it make without having Zeke?
Oh, it's huge, man. It's huge because the fact that people miss is that he's not just a complete running back that can run the ball, be physical, yards after contact. He's also a great pass protector. He throws them chips out there and knocks, big linemen down like it's nothing. So, this is the type of player that we're missing on a team on top of, Tyron Smith and him being one of the best at his position. So it is hard without Ezekiel Elliott. It's kind of hard to gauge which one is the bigger loss because we lost them both at the same time.
Yeah.
which is just huge. You know what I mean? It's like, well, oh damn, which one is more major? You know, because we just got away from the run. I think we could have been more effective if we could have just been more consistent with the run. But if you go back and look at that game, we got away from it once again, and it put us in a huge hole that we just simply couldn't get out of. So being without Ezekiel Elliott, it's huge, but I'm not sure how I would gauge it yet, as opposed to missing Tyron Smith, because, like I said, Ezekiel Elliott is just a complete football player. He's a great blocker. He's a great pass catcher, and he's a physical running back and gets great yards after contact.
Yeah, absolutely. And another big loss, obviously, is Sean Lee now. So hamstring injury there. You look at the statistics when he's on the field as opposed to off of it. 3.5 yards per carry allowed when he's playing, as opposed to 5.5 when he's not. That is unbelievable. A 2 yard per carry difference. And I'll tell you what, we did the film study on our show this week. Jalen Smith, and this is something that we talked about before the show, man. You got to start taking some better angles, pal.
Yeah, Jalen Smith is horrible when it comes to this run stop, man, and it's concerning to me, especially with facing the three-headed beast you guys have over there. Yes, the three-headed beast. Not a lot of people know that Corey Clement is actually a big part of the running game over there, but he is, and he's a crucial part of it. And him and LeGarrette Blount were already a nice little tandem, but adding Jay Ajayi was really good. Now, granted, Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount only have 4 touchdowns combined on the season. You know, they need to get their numbers up because we're coming up to the end of the season here. But, you know, with that tandem there and them being able to produce, I see it being a good thing for you guys, especially with injuries plaguing this league. So, being that said, we're going to have to stop the run. Sean Lee, man, him being out is just another dagger to the heart, but it's not what stops this team from winning. What stops this team from winning is not being able to score points offensively. Our defense literally runs through our defense runs through our offense. Being that said, we have to play good offensively. We have to put points up on the board. We have to be running the ball good to control time of possession. Our quarterback, our defense is simply not going to be able to get the rest they need to make the plays down the stretch. And it's unfortunate, man, because with the defensive players that we do have on the field, even with missing Heath and, you know, getting Xavier Woods getting the start now, that's good. You know, I'm really happy for that because I want the young talent out there to be able to create turnovers, make big splash plays. And with all of them, Chidobe Awuzie, Xavier Woods, Jordan Lewis all out there at the same time, potentially, I liked our chances a little bit as opposed to you know, Heath has just been a little bit inconsistent for me this year and has a lot of Cowboy fans mad. But, you know, we've been dealing with this for 5 years from him. So,
yeah, I mean,
but stopping the run right is going to be crucial.
Yeah, for me, I think the loss of Lee is obviously huge. But, you know, I look at Rod Marinelli, and, you know, I've said it on even the Bitter Bird show. He takes this pile of trash and he molds it into like average, basically. Like that's kind of how I view the Cowboys defense. And I like your secondary. I think that it's going to be ascending over the next couple of years with all the young talent that you have. Anthony Brown, the second-year player, I've been really liking him and his play over this first year and a half of his career. Jordan Lewis is a great tackling cornerback. You've got Chidobe Awuzie and then Orlando Scandrick. So he's been healthy this year, and he's a bit of a scrapper. So, you know, the perfect example that I can give you of what this Dallas defense is capable of is the Kansas City game. Kansas City game, they were outstanding. I mean, they basically shut the Chiefs down. But without Sean Lee in the lineup, I mean, that obviously makes me feel a lot more comfortable now. The other thing to look at is their D-line. I really like David Irving. I think he's a beast. And I think that another key is DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's going to be going up against Lane Johnson. I think I don't know how many – has he ever taken snaps off the right side? Because I think they need to match him up.
I don't think so, but you know what? Tyrone Crawford, don't sleep on him, man, because he's been creating a lot of plays this week.
He ain't bad.
Yeah, so don't sleep, man. He's gonna come off the right side, and he's gonna, it's not the D line that has me worried here. Like you said, it's it's Anthony Hitchens, Damian Wilson. Can they really get it together with Jalen Smith and Kyle Weber? Can they really come together and make it happen as a good linebacking core? Because right now with Sean Lee out, we have to stop the run. And I know Jordan Lewis is also going to be coming up and playing safety a little bit, which is going to be helping. And, he's a great tackler. And you don't see that a lot from a cornerback, you know what I'm saying, to move up and play safety as well. So you'll be seeing that a little bit, especially when they play dime. So expect that, man. And if as long as – okay, so keys to victory for me, we talked about it a little bit pregame, man, is being able to create enough pressure to get Carson Wentz off balance. I'm not saying we're going to sack him 4 or 5 times, but we need to create pressure and hit him, if anything. Hit him, knock him down, you know what I mean? Just get him off pace, because Carson Wentz is so good down the field, and he has such a strong arm. He gets out so quick that we just cannot – and he keeps his eyes down the field even as the pocket's collapsing. So – and that's good. That's really good for a quarterback, as well as being alert. So, being that said, we have to be able to contain him and hit him early and often. If we could do that, we have a chance to rattling him, making you guys one-dimensional by stopping the run and making him, make some mistakes with our young talent early. If you guys establish your running game and make our defense tired, we have no chance in this game. And especially if your D-line exposes our weaknesses in our offensive line, it's going to be a long day and potentially could be a blowout, if everything goes against us. But I think the Cowboys are hungry in this one, and man, this is gonna be one for the ages. I truly believe it, man.
Yeah. We'll get into that later. You were just itching to pick the Cowboys. You want to pick them so bad.
Man, let's go. Can I show you the back of this shirt?
What does the back of the shirt say?
I got to show you the back of the shirt, man. It's just, it just says, you got.
No ring. Oh, how original. How original. The no ring.
All right, man. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't get salty about that stuff though. I just laugh. I think it's all funny. It's all fun and good, man.
It is, man. That's why we're on here right now, and it's thank you for having me onto the show, by the way, man. Salute to you for that.
Absolutely. I can have a football conversation with a Cowboys fan. It's cool.
That's what's up, man. Let's get it. What else you have on the agenda? Where are we at?
Yeah. We'll start talk a little running game because I honestly think the Eagles are going to try to run early and often. Ajayi, Blunt, Clement. I really think they're going to try to expose those linebackers, and the way that they're going to do that, I think they're going to run a lot of counters and stuff like that. I mean, if Jalen was struggling with his angles last week, and you're running like counters and stuff, and you're running some misdirection stuff, you're going to be keeping them guessing all game long. Anthony Hitchens, I don't think is terrible, but without Lee in there, I really think you can really run the ball. And they run the outside zone stuff just like Atlanta did last week, and Atlanta had a lot of success with that in the second half, and Tevin Coleman. So that's what I would be looking for. And in terms of what you're saying even about Wentz, I do think they got to mix a lot of different coverages at him. Blitz him, also, throw the zone blitz in there, mix your different coverages. Now, if you blitz him all game, I think Carson Wentz would want that because his quarterback rating against pressure is like off the charts good. So, yeah, just kind of rattling off some shit. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you brought up some really good points though. Right there, he does have good third down, especially when he's under pressure. He does really well. Stopping the run is going to be next to impossible if Jalen Smith doesn't have a decent game. He's going to have to step in and have a good game. Like I said, he was a liability in Atlanta, man. He's been a liability really all season long. Everybody's happy that he's actually on the field, but he just needs to commit. And that's the biggest thing that I see when I watch him is he's just not committing. He needs to commit earlier, and he needs to even just let the safeties know behind him that he's committed so that they can make their play, because he's pulling safeties up. You know what I mean? He's letting plays completely break down before he makes a commitment to it, and it's all the way off. As far as stopping the run and bringing pressure and stuff like that on Wentz, yes, we have to bring pressure. We have to hit him and knock him off pace. You're right. He does perform exceptionally well, especially under pressure, but we cannot let Wentz sit back in the fucking pocket and have time to throw. Now, is our defense going to be able to create some picks here? We don't know. Wentz has been protecting the ball particularly well this year. Last year, he made a lot more, decisions that ended up in turnovers. Yeah. This year, he's obviously corrected that, and he has a lot more touchdown. His touchdown-interception ratio is a lot better. Still far. But you're right, and it's the same thing with Dak Prescott. You guys are going to have to do about the same thing, because both of these quarterbacks are physical. Both of them are very well poised, and both of them can get the ball down the field. Obviously, I think Wentz has a little bit better, accuracy down the field, only because he trusts himself more. I think Dak Prescott is actually more accurate in reality. He just don't trust himself to be as much. And I think once he starts trusting himself, like how Alex Smith is this year, just fucking dropping dimes, bombing it, when he wants to, then, he'll take that next step and really, develop into the quarterback that everybody wants him to be. But right now for this game, I think that it's going to be a lot of Dak and Dez. Just like you said, we're going to have to expose your secondary. You guys are ranked 26th or 27th in the league, and right now we're just going to have to hit early and often and figure out a way to create some windows over there, because our run game right now, I want McFadden in there and Morris as the tandem, and we just haven't seen it yet. So until we get that in there, I'm not going to be satisfied because I think them are our two best backs on the roster.
Yeah. Now, I really feel like it's going to go like this. I feel like the Eagles are going to score. They're going to score like at least 24, 27 points, maybe even put up a 30-burger. I have the Eagles scoring 34 points. So Dak and the Cowboys, they're going to have to keep pace. That's the way I'm kind of seeing this. Now, are they going to be able to keep pace? I'm not sure, because in terms of the pressure, going back to that, the Eagles right now, they lead the NFL in pressures, according to Pro Football Focus. They're 10th in sacks. They have 25. Now, the reason why the sacks don't look that great, a lot of these teams this year, they're quick three-step drops, trying to get the ball out, trying to expose the secondary. So the sack numbers actually haven't been as high as people might expect. But in terms of the analytics, they are pressuring the quarterback. But when you're getting the ball out so quick, it's hard to actually get the sack. But Dak, man, he's gonna have to bring his A game, that's for sure. And I don't have a problem with Dak. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's got top 10 potential. I don't think he's Carson Wentz. There's my bias there, but I don't have a problem with Dak.
And I kind of have a problem with Wentz because I'm gonna just hit this way.
This is why we do the show.
This is the situation, man. Is I really do like Wentz, and we talked about this in the pregame and pre-talk a little bit. Listen, man, I love good football, and I believe this is going to be a great rivalry for years to come. And I want Wentz and Dak both to be elite quarterbacks with multiple championships, because it'll be good for not only for football, but for our division. We are the most dominant division in football, and we need you guys to actually join the race with us, please. So if you could please win a championship sometime. No, in all seriousness.
Won't be lorded over.
So in all seriousness, man, Dak Prescott showed us a consistent year last year. And even though he lost in the playoffs, we seen what he did in the playoffs. And he lost by 3 points. Okay, Eli Manning got blown the fuck out. Nobody's talking about that. quarterback with all these Super Bowl rings and all these accolades. He fucking got blown out against Green Bay. Although Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys play motherfucking Green Bay for the second time, mind you, in the season after going to Lambeau and beating them, and they would edge off a fucking win after a crazy fucking drive. So I believe in Dak. After seeing that full body of work plus the playoff loss, it sucks that the record doesn't speak for his actual play because really – man, it was a close one, and we should have fucking, advanced in the playoffs. But this is the NFL, and he lost it, and he has a losing record in the playoffs. Being that said, he did make it to the playoffs last year in his rookie season, okay? And we're seeing consistent quarterback play out of Dak Prescott through the first 25 games. We could go back and look at it. You know what I mean? Now, we get back into this year. Carson Wentz is playing phenomenal. He's taking the right step in the right direction. They keep adding pieces, which is what Super Bowl teams do. Bill Belichick is one of the people who are the greatest at doing it. Adding pieces, especially at the last second. I even watched him cut a person one time right before the Super Bowl weekend. He cut somebody and brought somebody else on. So being that said, you know what I'm saying? It's good that both quarterbacks are in the division, but listen, Carson Wentz hasn't finished this year, and we haven't seen November, December play out of him. And the last time I recalled November and December play out of him was not good at all. You know what I'm saying? He finished off last year winning only 3 out of the last 9 games, and it was just horrendous to watch because they were supposed to be contenders for the division early on, starting off 3-1. You know what I'm saying? So the first quarter, everybody had, them, here we are just after midseason and everybody has him crowned again. But I would just like to see, and when I say I have the problem with him, I just want to see some kind of consistency because even though Dak Prescott's sitting at 5-4 right now, we haven't seen all the wins. When you go look at his quarterback play, the quarterback play has been pretty consistent. And though he's dropped a couple games, how many has Carson Wentz dropped?
Well, Carson Wentz doing pretty good this year now, hasn't he?
I'm just saying, though.
Here's what I'll say, though. Because you're right. Yeah. You're right in this sense. The real teams emerge after Thanksgiving. And we'll know a lot more about Carson Wentz after this game, after they play Seattle, after they play the Rams. That's when we're going to know how good Carson Wentz really is and how good this Eagles team really is. So you're right in that sense. Now, I'm very confident moving forward because I feel like the difference, obviously, between this year and last year, you've added weapons. You have Lane Johnson here. There's no Jason Peters, though, but Lane Johnson missed 10 games last year due to a suspension. And the Eagles really struggled because you had no Lane Johnson and then, Big V, that's when he was a rookie and really struggling. Like he not that he was Chaz Green bad, but he was bad, So bad weapons, and all of a sudden, the mechanics obviously was another thing that he's changed during the offseason. So the passing has been a lot more accurate. He wasn't always accurate last year. It kind of wavered. There was a lot of overthrows and a lot of balls that sailed. And actually, this was even the case earlier this season. The first month of the year, I didn't think Carson Wentz was like that great. He was good, but he's really taken a step forward since the Arizona game on because he's got 17 touchdowns in the last 5 games. It's fucking ridiculous. So I have confidence in him moving forward, but you're right. Let's see what he can do when it matters. There you go.
Yeah, and that goes with every quarterback. Dak Prescott obviously lost his first playoff game, but if you're you could be a biased Cowboys fan, against the Cowboys and say, oh, he lost, whatever, whoop-de-whoop, like the Giants did, but they got blown the fuck out. We got blown out because we got away from the run in the first half. We stood competitive in the end of that game, and that's what really gave me hope for the future for Dak Prescott, and that's why I had us winning so many games pre-draft, preseason, pre-everything. I had actually Dak Prescott elevating his game, and the point differential last year was just so nice that, him and Ezekiel Elliott were such a nice tandem. But, I didn't expect everything to be weighing as it does. NFL seasons are tricky sometimes, and we faced the Packers, and then Aaron Rodgers goes down the very next game, and now it's kind of an open window for anybody else who plays the Packers, and so it's just going to be kind of tricky. It's going to be kind of tricky to see what happens here, but Dak Prescott needs to stay healthy. He is the cornerstone to our team right now, and that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah. Who are your X factors for Sunday? What are the Cowboys like? Who are the kind of the players that maybe no one's talking about that might play a big role?
Man, honestly, Jason Witten. Jason Witten. Jason Witten needs to have a good blocking day. I think they need to implement him, have a double tight end set out there. Him and Hannah, or him and whoever's out there, you know what I'm saying? And have some and give some help. I think he's the better blocker, obviously. And obviously we're gonna need to add that protection, and it's gonna have to be on a consistent basis. I don't know if you noticed or not, if you watched any of the game, but the one time Jason Witten did go block over there, we did have a huge play over there. So I expect to see a lot more of that with Byron Bell, him over there helping Byron Bell. I hope not to see Chaz Green at all in this game. I hope Byron Bell can hold his own. Byron Bell, I seen the tape on him, and he's like, if I lose, I'm going to lose my way. He's like, if I play timid, I lose. He goes, I'm not going to play timid. I'm all in. So if he really plays all in like how he's talking, then I think that we have a good shot, and I think Jason Witten could have a big day. I know Cole Beasley and Des Bryant are everybody's looking at because they've had historically big days against you guys right here and just know how to win. But I think Jason Witten will be the X factor, and it may not show up like, on every play him making a bunch of catches, but I think he'll be the blocking X factor this week that we're going to need.
I'll throw David Irving's name out there because I think you guys need to put him straight up on Jason Kelce, just right over his face, because Kelce kind of struggles in pass pro against kind of bigger players. So I think he's going to be key. I think you can kind of rush up the middle on Philly in some ways. They run the ball very well with the O-line. The O-line does a tremendous job of run blocking. With pass protection, it can get, you can beat them sometimes. So I think David Irving's going to play a key role. Cole Beasley, I don't know if that really counts, but the thing to look at here is Malcolm Jenkins has always been the guy that's covered Cole Beasley, and Jenkins always struggles in the slot against like the quicker, shiftier players. Well, now the slot cornerback is Patrick Robinson, who has, by God, had this amazing season in Philly that's come out of nowhere. He was a bust in New Orleans. He came in here during the preseason, and he just struggled. He was terrible. A lot of fans wanted him cut, and now all of a sudden he's pretty flat corner. So that's a big key matchup in this game is Cole Beasley against Patrick Robinson.
Yeah, definitely. I did want to talk about that. You're 100% right about that, but he hasn't faced Cole Beasley yet, and Ryan Switzer. Who knows how much we're going to see Ryan Switzer? I know we've been seeing him a little bit more as of late. Hopefully we can see him a little bit more in our offense this week. I think he could play a huge role because there's not a lot of tape on him, and he's actually faster and more physical than Cole Beasley. And I think that if we could get him out there in space, he could be dangerous, very dangerous. So that's a matchup to look for, but let's see how much we utilize Switzer in that slot position as well.
Yeah. All right. I guess. All right. We'll do the predictions now. So this is obviously a biased prediction. I, like many Eagles fans, I am drinking the Kool-Aid and falling into the trap. And I told you before the show, this game, there's a similar feel to what was it, 2013, Week 17. Tony Romo goes down. Kyle Orton is your quarterback. Everyone in Philly thought it was going to be a blowout. It was going to be a cakewalk in Dallas, cakewalk in Big D. And it took a late Brandon Boykin interception to squeak out a 24-22 victory. So on paper, man, it looks like a mismatch, but rivalries always have a weird way of playing themselves out. So with that being said, I got 34-13.
All right, man. Well, like you said, David Irvin should have a decent game. But as far as the D-line, I expect the right side to have a big day. So expect Tyrone Crawford to have a big day, you guys. It's going to be a good one, though. It's going to be a good matchup to watch on that D-line, especially against your good offensive line, and to see what's going to happen over there. I obviously have a closer game. I think this one's going to be won in the trenches. There's going to be a lot of fireworks early and often. I'm going 25-27 Dallas Cowboys, man. I got to take the Cowboys. I can't waver from what my pick is, man. We need this one to win the East. Dak Prescott being the true X factor in this game. Him being the underdog, the fourth-round pick against the second overall pick. Him just being the underdog coming into this game, being the 5-4 underdog, everybody crowning the Eagles already. I know it's having that chip grow on his shoulder, and I think he's going to take that next step and really put it out there in this game. And we're going to need all of our team to click on all cylinders to beat you guys. So whatever happens, man, good luck to your team, and I'll talk to you next time when we do this. What is it, December 31st?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully in Philly.
Yeah. And, well, unfortunately for you, you're going to have to pour a big 2-liter of Mountain Dew once that final score comes in.
So I'll let everybody know right now that's watching, man. Me and Desert Eagle 90, another Philly fan, do have a $100 bet and a bet that I have to pour this on my head. He has a blue 2-liter of Hawaiian Punch he showed already in a video. So I got the Mountain Dew, man, and he's calling that the Cowboys Tears real quick, and I'll figure out a good name for this.
Oh, dude, that brings me to a point. Hold on. So I have this beer, this Dallas Sucks beer. This is literally brewed with Ezekiel Elliott's tears. How about
that? Well, you know what, man? How about this? If we beat you guys, I'm gonna send you a gift this week, man. So if we end up beating you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and send you a gift, and hopefully you'll share it with the world.
All right, that'll be our little bet. If the Eagles lose, I will retweet your gift.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And if your Eagles win, man, I'll pay homage. You already know what's up, man.
Yeah, that's for sure. So all right. So before we depart, I'll ask you this. Oh, did I just freeze? Okay, I'm back. I thought I froze for a second. All right, so I'll ask you this before we leave. So if they lose, they would go to 5-5. But you still think that they could have a shot at the playoffs. It seems like a lot of other Cowboys fans say no. So I'll let you take the floor and explain why they still have a shot.
Listen, man, I'm not going to sit here and debate with any other Cowboy fans like a Skip Bayless or a Simus or anything like that. Because, hey, listen, man, at the end of the day, man, we're all our own people. We're all our own men. We all have our own opinions. And I respectfully disagree with Simus. He's a homie. And I respectfully disagree with Skip Bayless, even though he's an old lunatic. The fact of the matter is, when you look at the schedule here, there's a lot of common games. The Eagles play the Vikings play the Panthers, the Rams, the Seahawks. The Saints play the Falcons twice, and I mean, they're all common opponents. The Eagles play the Seahawks this week. Every team on here that's in this top seeding have to knock each other off that's above us. So the Saints, being a 7-2 right now, holding on to the 3 seed, have to play the Falcons twice. How do you think that's going to pan out? They also have to play the Rams. It's going to be really, really nice. I believe 10 wins gets us into a wild card spot if we're not able to win this week against the motherfucking Eagles. But one thing at a time, if we're able to beat the Eagles here, I do believe we have a shot to win the East with 11 wins, and that's with a little bit of help, of course.
Well, unfortunately for you guys, 11 wins will not be enough because the Eagles are going to win about 12.
Well, good luck to you, man. Good luck to your team. And as always, man, fuck the Eagles. And you know what time it is. Salute to you guys, man. And good luck tomorrow.
Well, I'll be buying a 6-pack of this, and I'll be enjoying myself during the game. A couple adult beverages. So this beer it's for the fans. It's for the fans. This is by Weyerbacher, a local kind of brewery here in Philadelphia. So, as you can imagine, this was a hot seller.
Well, like I said, if it turns out to be a divisional rival for the NFC East on December 31st, I will be out in Philly, and maybe we'll do one of these things live together, man. So
live collaborate. That'd be really cool.
Definitely. All right, brother.
Definitely.
Have a good one. Until next time, man.
Yeah. This is the point of the show where I ask you, you got any final thoughts before we depart?
Oh, shit, man. Nice. Yeah, final thoughts, man. I'll let you take the floor with your final thoughts first so I can gather mine. How about that?
Well, I've said it earlier in the week, but Skip already building in excuses for the game. So if they lose, he's already got his excuse. I hate it. Skip.
Hey, listen, man, there is no excuses when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, and that'll bring me to my point. There is no excuses when it comes to Cowboys Nation. And if you are sitting here counting us out of these motherfucking games, if you're sitting here counting us out of the playoffs, when we're in the playoffs, don't watch the motherfucking Cowboys and don't rep that motherfucking star. Because I don't want to see these bandwagon fans, because I might slap you. I'm just saying.
That was well said. That was well said. I like it.
Peace, love, and respect to everybody else out there, man. I got to get going.
All right. I'm Adrian Fecchio of the Better Birds. That's Mr. LL, a.k.a. Cowboys Legends 27. Make sure you sub him up on YouTube. I will include a link in the description box. I don't know if Eagles fans are going to want to sub to you, but we'll see. I'll sub it in there. So with that being said, we are out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Peace.
All right, man. See you next time.